This soft, harmless-looking leaf once triggered the largest drug war in human history. It bankrupted empires, rewired cultures, and turned kings into addicts. And it all started with a single cup, brewed by accident. China, year 2737 BCE. A pot of boiling water, a gust of wind, a few leaves drifting down into Emperor Shen Nong's cup. He takes a sip, and suddenly the world changes. Tea doesn't hit like wine, it sneaks up on you. A slow, clean focus, a soft high, a gentle stimulant that clears the mind. To ancient China, this wasn't just a drink, it was medicine, a ritual, a quiet form of power. But the addiction spreads, first among monks who need long hours of meditation, then among scholars chasing clarity, and finally among emperors who demand entire harvests for themselves. Tea becomes currency. Tea becomes identity. Tea becomes control. And once something becomes control, someone tries to steal it. Because far across the oceans, another empire is watching, and Britain is thirsty. 1700s, Britain is hooked. Coffee keeps merchants awake, but tea? Tea becomes the British personality. By the early 18th century, 1 in every 2 British households is drinking tea daily. But there's one problem. China controls all of it. The Qing dynasty refuses to give Britain direct access. Cash only. No trade deals, no negotiations. So Britain starts draining its silver reserves just to keep tea flowing. A superpower, dependent on a leaf. The British East India Company panics. They need a workaround, a cheaper drug, something they can trade. They find it. Opium. Tea becomes the gateway drug to a global narcotics network. Because to keep British citizens caffeinated, someone else must get addicted. Britain grows opium in India, smuggles it into China, uses the profits to buy tea, ships that tea back home. A perfect loop. A looping crime. By 1830, millions of Chinese citizens are addicted. Families sell everything, land, tools, even children, for another pipe. The Qing government demands it stop. Britain refuses. So Commissioner Lin Zexu seizes and destroys 20,000 chests of British opium. A bold move. A necessary move. But Britain interprets it as war. Cannons fire. Cities burn. The First Opium War begins, all because Britain couldn't quit tea. The war ends with humiliation. China is forced to sign the Treaty of Nanjing. Britain gains Hong Kong, treaty ports, and unrestricted access. Tea is no longer a Chinese monopoly. It's a British victory trophy. But Britain still has one weakness. They don't know how to grow tea. So they steal the secret. Botanist Robert Fortune, disguised as a Chinese merchant, sneaks across forbidden regions, steals tea seeds, smuggles workers, and ships entire plantations to India. A biological heist. A botanical kidnapping. By the late 1800s, India becomes the world's largest tea producer. All because of one spy. By the 20th century, tea isn't just a stimulant, it's culture. Britain sips it during wartime air raids. India drinks it as a symbol of resistance and identity. China returns to its ancient rituals. A simple leaf caused wars, addictions, espionage, colonization, revolutions, and global obsession. Imagine holding a cup of tea, realizing it shaped empires, toppled governments, and rewrote world history, all with a soft, quiet high. And here's the wild part. The global tea story isn't over. New battles are forming: corporate monopolies, climate-shaken plantations, and a new generation rediscovering ancient rituals. History brewed in real time.